Committee on Judiciary, Civil, and Criminal Jurisprudence will come to order. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Lukemeyer.
Here.
Schroer.
Here.
Coleman.
Here.
May.
Here.
Roberts. Thompson Rehder. And Trent.
We do have a quorum present. With that, I would make a motion that we go into executive session. Of a second. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. You guys have it. We are in executive session. I would now make a motion that we bring before the committee for consideration Senate Bill 984. Do you have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. Ayes have it. Bills before the committee. For the benefit of the committee, this is Senator Schroer's bill that we heard last week. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to Senator Schroer since this is his bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the body's knowledge on this, we've been working with several of the different groups that came up to try and find some sort of a compromise. As of right now, even though all of the parties are agreeing that this is an area that should be regulated, we're trying to find the best course of moving forward, which would not unnecessarily expand the government's reach and raise taxes, so to speak, to increase enforcement of what we're doing. So there will be a substitute, working with several different members, several different parties on what to include in that substitute. So whatever we pass out today, we're going to tighten up a little bit once it gets to the floor.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? Senator May.
Yes. So I'm not against the bill, but as it stands right now, I'm going to go ahead and let the bill get out of committee because, of course, you guys are going to vote for it, but I'm going to vote with you in reference to the bill. But my concern is this. This is an industry or whatever that was around before marijuana regulations ever came into effect. So my concern is giving an unfair advantage to one industry over another one. And that is my concern, and that's what I'm trying to protect. Because if this business was already happening federally, because right now you can order it online, there's any federal regulations blocking anything in reference to this industry. And now we're in Missouri, we're going to say, okay, we're going to regulate this industry, and by regulating it, that means that it shuts down everybody else who sells it, and it goes straight under marijuana licensing entities, and that means those entities that don't have a license will not have the opportunity to continue what they was doing in business before, and it was legal. So that's my concern. I'm going to note that concern. I'm going to I have an amendment drafted, and I'm going to discuss that with the sponsors of the bill and everybody else who's supporting the bill before I even offer it or talk about that amendment. So I just wanted to put that on the table.
Any further discussion on the bill? Senator Coleman.
I just wanted to kind of just say as well that I agree with Senator May that there's some concerns about further eliminating a channel of distribution for legal product, but the overarching concern about needing to make sure that we're protecting kids, and because of the senator's willingness to continue to talk with people about how we're going to deal with that issue, I think it'll be a yes to get it out of committee, but I look forward to seeing your send a substitute, and I appreciate your willingness to negotiate on that.
Any further discussion? Senator Trent.
I'll echo some of those same sentiments as well. I would really like to see a broader compromise reached on this, but I think that the best path forward at this time is to get this out of committee today so that broader conversation can continue once this reaches the floor.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to now make a motion that we do pass Senate Bill 984. It's been moved and seconded. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Lukemeyer.
Aye.
Schroer.
Aye.
Coleman. Aye. May.
Aye.
Roberts.
Aye.
Thompson Rehder. Trent.
By your vote of 7-1 or 7-0, you have voted do pass Senate Bill 984. Now make a motion that we bring before the committee Senate Bill 1096. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. You guys have it. The bill is before the committee. This is Senator Roberts' bill from last time that we met. And so, Senator, if you'd care to explain the bill.
Yeah, this was the alternative dispute resolution bill, basically just standardizing some practices as far as mediation.
Okay. And this is identical to the version we passed out of committee last year.
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
Any further discussion on Senate Bill 1096? Seeing none, I would now make a motion that we vote do pass Senate Bill 1096. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Lukemeyer?
Aye.
Schroer? Coleman? May? Roberts? Thompson Rehder? Trent?
By your vote of 7-0, you have voted do pass Senate Bill 1096. I would now make a motion that we exit executive session. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The ayes have it. We are out of executive session. First up before the committee today is Senate Bill 864. Senator Thompson Rehder, whenever you're ready.
I'm Senator Holly Thompson Rehder from Southeast Missouri. This bill on modifying divorce proceedings, we heard it last year. It went through this committee without any problems. The only problem was that I got it filed too late. And so this year we got it filed early, and so my hope is that we can actually get it through the process. What this bill does is what we're finding now, and I know personally because it happened to me, but when you go through a divorce proceeding, those of us who have been through them know that they take quite a significant amount of time and money. And when you get to the end and the judge gives you the instructions and splits everything and says this is what both parties are going to do, signed, stamped, your divorce with these are the two lists of things that you have to deliver. If one party decides I'm going to continue putting you through hell and not deliver what I'm required to deliver by the judge, then you have to pay your attorney, pay court filing again to bring them back before the judge for the judge to say, yes, you have to do what I've already told you to do. And when I filed this bill last year, I knew that I had other people tell me that they had gone through this as well. Once I filed it, I had a lot of domestic violence survivors come and talk to me and say this is absolutely was carried out again and again. I've had to go back to court multiple times to get them to do just what the judge has already stated. So what this bill does is if you have to file a motion, take someone back to court because they are not going by the requirements that they have already been told by a judge, then they have to pay your court fees, your attorney fees, and all of your costs associated with it, with taking them back to make them do what they have already been told to do. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer questions.
Any questions for the senator?
No, I got a comment.
Senator May, a comment.
We need to do this bill on the federal level for Trump.
We did.
Any further commentary or questions? Seeing none, first witness in support of Senate Bill 864. Seeing none, any witnesses in opposition to Senate Bill 864? Seeing none, any informational purposes only witnesses on 864? Seeing none, I'd ask for concluding remarks, but you just made your opening remarks, so.
Yeah, no, I hope that we can get this done, and if any of the committee members has a bill that this would fit on, I would be more than happy to be as helpful as possible. I think it needs to get done quickly.
I think you may have a bill that's out of this committee already that it may fit on.
That's what I'm thinking. It's definitely a bill to help, that's going to help domestic violence survivors.
Thank you, Senator. Next bill up is Senate Bill 988. Senator Coleman, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Mary Elizabeth Coleman. I represent the 22nd Senatorial District, and I'm happy to be presenting Senate Bill 988. Qualified spousal trusts are a tool that was developed, many years ago, to make sure that it was clear that when there are grantor trusts that are filed, that you're able to have every single benefit as an individual that you would have holding your property in fee simple. And there has been, I believe, some confusion and some interpretation, but I think that the existing statute is clear that if a spouse is protected from creditors after the life of their surviving spouse, if they owned it in fee simple, that they would have those same protections in place had the property been placed in a qualified spousal trust. This is clarifying the intent of the document as it was written, the statute when it was enacted for qualified spousal trusts. And so it's a pretty simple bill. It just says, hey, if you had those protections during the life of the spouse, of your spouse, you have those protections after your spouse is deceased while the surviving spouse lives. And I'm open to any questions.
Any questions for Senator Coleman? Seeing none, first witness in support of Senate Bill 988.
Thank you, Senator. Good afternoon, Senators. I'm David Clarich, today appearing on behalf of Senate Bill 988. I'd like to thank Senator Coleman for this. We are I'm representing today Reisman Berger, my law firm. But this language was actually something that goes all the way back to 2010. In 2010, my law firm drafted what was known as the tenancy by the entireties trust, trying to take advantage of marital property and the protections afforded marital property. And what we thought is if you created a trust that by case law protected the assets of a husband and wife, that'd be something that would be extraordinarily powerful if after the death of the first spouse, those same protections were afforded to the surviving spouse. Well, when we were talking to the Missouri Bar back in 2010 with Senator Kevaney, I don't know if anybody would remember Senator Joe Kevaney from St. Louis. Joe Kevaney was the one who introduced it. The Missouri Bar, certain members of my law firm got together and say, well, tenancy by the entireties doesn't make sense because once you sever the TBE property, then you lose all those benefits, which is the birth of the Qualified Spousal Trust in 2011. And the Missouri General Assembly adopted the 456-950 provision. And it has been an extraordinary estate planning tool, particularly for those who might have particular liability through their practice, lawyers, doctors, accountants, somebody who might have individual liability. This would actually be a wonderful tool for estate planning purposes. So it's worked just really, really well. If you take a look at the bill, and I don't want to go too much detail, but just for your own edification, it might be something that you would want to do. That all property at any time held in a QST, that's on line 34 on page 9. We always thought that at any time held, so that if you had the property, you would be afforded the benefits of the bill, which was the protections afforded TBE property. This merely clarifies that language. It says that those benefits are in fact protected, and it spells it out. I appreciate Senator Coleman for even undertaking this effort. This is the same language that I was encouraging you last week on Senate Bill 1221 to add. We're going to pass it out of the House of Representatives today in House Bill 1886, a judicial proceedings omnibus bill. So it's going to come out of the House of Representatives this afternoon, I'm told by the floor leader. And so we're just hoping that we can find some vehicles that might have a chance, that might be viable in this session. But Mr. Chairman, Senators, I'd be happy to answer any questions historically or as a matter of estate planning, anything you might have.
And just for the benefit of the committee, one of the reason that we didn't vote out Senator Trent's bill from last time is because our intent is to combine these together in a committee substitute and package them. So that's why we held up on the vote on that.
Thank you, Senator.
Any questions for Mr. Clarich? Senator May, question or comment?
This is a question.
A question, okay.
But I can do either one, right? I'm just making sure I can do either one. My question, so in reference to a will, so how does it work, in reference to a will?
Well, this is a trust instrument. And so the trust instrument it actually goes back, as you know, Senator, thousands of years to common law.
It does, because I want to do one of them irrevocable trusts. So anyway, me and you might need to talk offline.
Senator, I'd be happy to help you answer any of those questions.
Absolutely.
I don't know what that was. What was that?
Who was calling? I want that ring camera.
Anytime I call her.
Any further questions for Mr. Claridge? Seeing none.
Thank you, Senators. Thank you,
Next witness in support.
Sorry for calling.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Andy Briscoe. I'm the registered lobbyist for the Missouri Bar. We'd like to thank Senator Coleman for bringing this bill forward, and I'm very pleased to follow former Senator Claridge and just say that the Missouri Bar supports this.
Any questions for the bar? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Further witnesses in support? Seeing none, any witnesses in opposition? Seeing none, any witnesses for informational purposes only? Seeing none, they'll conclude the hearing. Next up is Senate Bill 1379. Senator Arthur. And just for the benefit of the committee, this is identical to a bill that we previously had voted out. I was unaware that the senator's intent was to vote at consent, and so it was rolled into a broader omnibus bill. So we're hearing the same bill to vote at consent this time, and I'm actually going to, when we conclude with the testimony, make a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of executing it out today, since it is identical to what we've previously voted out. There's no reason to push that to next week. And so with that, Senator Arthur, whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You stole my opening remarks, so I apologize that I made the rookie mistake of forgetting to let you know that I wanted the bill to go consent, but this is non-controversial and meets all of the criteria.
Any questions for Senator Arthur? Seeing none. Any witnesses in support of Senate Bill 1379?
I'll be brief. I'm Greg Mermelstein. I'm the Deputy Director of the Public Defender. The Public Defender thanks the Senate for supporting this bill in the past, and I'm just here to thank Senator Arthur and the rest of you for your support. Thank you.
Any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Further witnesses in support of Senate Bill 1379? Seeing none, any witnesses in opposition to Senate Bill 1379? Seeing none, any witnesses for informational purposes only? Seeing none, I'll conclude the hearing on Senate Bill 1379.
Thank you
Senator
for your
Arthur.
flexibility in accommodating this request.
Very welcome.
Thanks.
With that, I would make a motion that we go into executive session. Do I have a second? Oh, Vice Chairman Schroer, thank you for that. We are now in executive session. I would now make a motion that we bring up before the committee Senate Bill 1379. It has been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 1379 is before the committee. Is there any further discussion on this bill? Seeing none, I would now make a motion that we do pass Senate Bill 1379. Do I have a second? It's been seconded. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Lutemeyer.
Aye.
Schroer.
Aye.
Coleman. May. Roberts. Thompson Rehder. Trent.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted do pass Senate Bill 1379. I would now make a motion that we vote the bill out consent. Do I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Lutemeyer.
Aye.
Schroer. Coleman. May. Roberts. Thompson Rehder. Trent.
By your vote of 6-0, you have voted do pass Senate Bill 1379 consent. No further business coming before the committee. I would make a motion that we adjourn. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those contrary, no. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.